Welcome to the Dougie Wuggy Story Hour. Coming to you today from Collard's Camp in Oakland, California. Give it up for Collard's Camp. Okay, that's enough. We are in session 6. Let's give it up for session 6. Okay. Yeah. If you're interested in coming to the camp, www.collardscamp.com. Okay. Have you ever, I should not ask this question, but I'll ask it anyway. Have you ever sort of gotten in a weird mood where you really annoyed your parents?
Yeah!
Did you ever do it on purpose just to annoy them?
Yeah!
Some yeses, some yeses, some no's.
Yes, because I like when my
It was really more just like you get in a super like weird, silly mood and you can't get out of it and it annoys your parents and yeah, you just kind of push it a little too far. You know about that?
Yeah!
Yeah, there are a few yeses in the audience.
Yeah!
Okay. Well, this is a story about the time I pushed my dad just a little too far. And I had to have mom come and rescue me. All right. The story goes like this. When I was about, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9, it was the day before Halloween. And I was very excited because the next day was Halloween and I loved Halloween. It was like, I enjoyed Halloween more than my birthday. Okay, here's the order of holidays I enjoyed. Christmas, number 1, obviously.
Well, Christmas is...
Presents, hello.
Number 1.
Right, at Christmas, I love decorating the tree and all that.
Yeah.
Number 2,
Yeah.
I gotta go with Halloween, I'm sorry. Birthdays were okay, but yeah, I just preferred Halloween because I like dressing up and there was something kind of magical about going out at night and in costumes and getting the candy. And okay, yeah. So I was very excited. Plus, at the elementary school that I went to, which was called Longmont, I grew up near Cleveland, a place called Shaker Heights, and it's like a suburb of Cleveland. And it's a nice little town, and I had a nice little neighborhood, and we had at our school, I don't know if you have it at your school, we had a Halloween carnival. And ours was, this year it happened to be on a Saturday, and the dads and moms would go and they'd set up like booths and games, and kids would come dressed up, and it was really fun. And I was super excited about it. And I had just gotten a new costume. I think I was Superman that year. I was really into Superman. And my parents had gotten me a new Superman costume, and I was all jazzed about that. So the day before Halloween, I come down to breakfast, and my mom's like, "Good morning, boys. Would you like some pickled peaches for breakfast?" I'm like, "What? Pickled peaches?" I'm like, "Pickled peaches? That sounds disgusting." She said, "No, it sounds disgusting, but it tastes good." I'm like, "No thanks, Mom. I do not want any pickled peaches for breakfast." And then it was funny because my little brother, his name is Peter, but his nickname was Peaches. So we started marching around the house going, "Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peaches. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peaches." And we just were all hyper and crazy and excited. My older brother's Jeff, my younger brother's Peter. So we were having fun. We were marching around the house like, "Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peaches." And to the point where we're really annoying my parents. Like, "Okay, we got it. Enough." And then around 7 o'clock at night, my dad comes into my room that I shared with Peter/Peaches. And he said, "Okay, I need you guys to go to bed early tonight because tomorrow's Halloween. We have to get up early. We're going to go set up the booths for the carnival. So bedtime's at 8 tonight." And I was like, "Dad, I'm never tired at 8. My bedtime's like 9:30. He said, "Okay, well, tonight I want you to see if you can fall asleep early." I'm like, "Okay, fine." So I get in my jammies and I get in bed and I was reading. I was reading a book, and then my dad comes in around 8. He says, "Okay, lights out." And I'm like, "Okay, lights out. I'll try to sleep." And I try to sleep. I couldn't sleep. I was like wide awake and excited. And I just got in a weird mood, and I just jumped out of bed, and I started running around the room going, "Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peaches," like screaming it like really loud. "Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peaches." And my dad comes in the room. He's like, "Doug?" I'm like, "Yes." I said, "It's time to go to sleep." I was like, "Sir, yes, sir, right away, sir. Good night, sir. To bed, sir. Good night. Hup, you will not hear from me again tonight. Hup, hup." And my dad's like, "Okay, good night." I'm like, "Good night." And he leaves, and I get in bed. I'm trying to sleep. I was like wide awake and excited. I don't know what got into me that night. I just jump out of bed again. And at the top of my voice, I yell out, "Hey, Dad! Guess what? Did you know that Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peaches?" And my little brother's like, "Dad is going to be really mad." I'm like, "I don't care about Dad." And he's like, "Oh, boy." And then I hop in bed. I pretend like I'm sleeping. And my dad comes in the room pretty annoyed this time. He's like, "Doug." I'm like, "Yes." "I told you it is time to go to sleep. Now stop screaming, Peter Piper picked that," whatever you said. I said, "Okay, sorry, Dad. Good night, sir. You will not hear from me again. Good night, sir." And he's like, "Oh, brother." Kind of rolls his eyes like, what is with this kid? And I'm trying to sleep. It's like 9 o'clock. I'm like wide awake. And I was just like, I'm going to give it one more try. No. I was trying to see how mad I could make. I don't know why I was in such a weird mood. Because normally I wasn't like that. I wasn't like the kind of kid that caused trouble, but I was just in a weird mood. And I just hop out of bed. I'm like, "Hey, Dad, guess what? I know you're listening. Did you know that Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peaches?" And I hop in bed, turn off all the lights. I start fake snoring. And he comes in the room really mad this time. He says, "Doug, I know you're not sleeping. Stop with the fake snoring." And I pretend I'm sleeping. I'm like, "What?" Like it just woken me up. Like, "What?" He goes, "If I have to come in here one more time, you're going to get a spanking on your bottom, mister." And I'm like thinking, "Ooh, a spanking. Ooh, a spanking." Now, the truth is, my parents didn't spank us, and so I wasn't too worried about that. My dad, sometimes if he got really annoyed, he'd say, "You're going to get a spanking, mister." But he never did. So I was just like, "Oh, yeah, whatever, Dad." But then I thought, wait a minute. If I really, really, really get him mad, maybe he will give me a spanking. But I'm going to have protection. I'm going to have protection where it matters, right on my bottom. So I go to the bookshelf. I get a big old book. I remember it was Peter Pan. I stick it down my jammies so that when if he gives me a spank, he'll hit his hand on the book, and then he'll be like, "Yeah!" And that'll be really funny. It's like a prank, just pranking Dad. And I go to I put the book down my jammies. My little brother's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Watch and learn, mister. This is how the big boys do it. It's called a prank." And I stick the book down there. It was way too big. I had these little tight jammies and this oversized book. So I had this big rectangular booty, 4 corners sticking out. I'm like, "Oh yeah, here we go. This is going to be the prank of the year." Right. So to make sure that my dad got really mad, and would come in and actually spank me, I'd go to the wall, because my room was next to his, and I'm like, hey, Dad, guess what? Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peaches. I know you're listening. And then I started banging on the wall, like, I don't know, they go, yeah, like bang, bam, bam, bam. Yeah, kicking the wall and banging on it. And my brother's like, dude, you are so crazy. I'm like, watch and learn, buddy. This is how you prank your dad. And I turn off all the lights, and I put the sheets on me, and I'm like sticking my big old booty up here, like, come on, baby, ready for action. And Dad comes in the room, super mad. I could hear him like stomping down the hall, like, ooh, like stomp. I'm like, oh yeah, he's mad. Like this giant stomping down the hall. He's like, oh, he comes in the room. He turns on all the lights, which I wasn't expecting. He throws the sheet off of me, and there I am in my bed with my big old rectangular booty sticking up in the air, ready for action. And he takes one look at me and goes, what the heck is that? Why you got a book, Daniel? And he goes, oh, I get it. And then he takes the book and throws it across the room. I'm like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. My plan is not working. And I'm like ready for him to give me a whack, which Betty says, nice try. I'm not going to spank you. We don't spank in this household. I'm like, thank you, Dad. It's just a prank. He goes, it wasn't funny. I've warned you. You are going to get punished. I'm like, what? He said, you're not going to the carnival tomorrow. I was like, no, just spank me. Get it over with. He said, no, we don't spank in this household. But you are not going to the carnival. You did this on purpose to annoy me. I was like, sorry, Dad. And my little brother's like, I told him. I was like, you be quiet, buddy. And then my dad said, end of story. You are not going to the carnival tomorrow. And I started crying. And my little brother's like, I told you. I was like, you be quiet. And I finally fall asleep around 10 or something. And I wake up in the morning. And I'm thinking, oh, what was I thinking? Oh, my gosh. And I realized there was only one solution to the problem. Mom. I got to get to Mom. Mom has the final word. So I put on my best kind of like sad, face. You know that face you give your parents when you're like... And I mean, I was upset, but I made it seem even worse. And I come down to breakfast with my big old sad face. She's like, what's wrong with you? It's Halloween. Aren't you excited to go to the carnival? I said, Dad won't let me go to the carnival. She's like, what? Dad won't let me go to the carnival. And she's like, why? Because I put a book down my jammies. She's like, what? And my little brother's like, yeah, he was annoying Dad, and he put a book down his butt, and Dad got really mad. And she's like, oh, your father. Whatever. And then my dad comes down, she goes, Bob, what's this about Doug not going to the carnival? And my dad's all still mad. He's like, oh, yeah, he was like banging the wall and teasing me and screaming, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled something or other. And I warned him, and he's not going to the carnival. And she's like, Bob, he's going to the carnival because he cannot stay home alone, and we're all going. Think about it. And my dad's like, oh, that's true. I was only 9. They didn't let me stay home alone. And then my dad said, okay, fine, you're going to the carnival. I'm like, thank you, Dad. Thank you. I'm sorry. I was just in a weird mood last night. He goes, yeah, you're telling me. So I get on my Superman costume, and we start marching up to the school. And for some reason, as I'm marching, I'm like, Peter Piper picked a peck. And my older brother turns to me and goes, no. And my dad looks at me like, don't push it, buddy. And I'm like, sorry, Dad. And I was quiet, and we had a good time at the carnival. And that is the true story of Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peaches. Yeah! And my advice to you at home listening, don't annoy your parents. It's not worth it. It really is not. Okay. Do it the first time when they ask you to do something. Over and out from Cole Arts Camp. Say bye, everybody.
Bye.